an inspiration to me for the last 10 years. Denis Itumbi amenishikilia mkono kama comedian mpaka hivyo Ngaruya vile amesema sasa mimi ni MC wa rais. Kwa hivyo tumpigieni makofi kwanza kabla sijamuita. Thank you sir. Na zile za Moi mnazikumbuka? Tuzivyure. Moja. Karibu Denis Itumbi, waziri wa mayai. Karibu sana sana.
God is good and all the time. Hi, let's show by show of hands. Hi. It's good to be in Embu. Governor, the deputy governor, and all the protocols established before I came, I adopted. Always good to be in Embu. In fact, the governor will tell you one of the biggest struggles to my appointment was where I come from. I actually had to fight to prove I come from Kirinyaga, not Embu. Because as you have seen, even the people who stay with me most of the time are saying I'm from Embu. So I had to fight a big fight because I grew up entirely in Embu. Part of it in Manyata and in later stages in Runyenjes because my mom was a teacher and taught in those two constituencies. But Embu is a home that brought me up. So I appreciate you guys. In fact, I was just thinking as I sat where I spent my youth and it was actually Embu. I come from Kirinyaga, yes, but my shopping center is Embu. If I wanted to do a dance, it was Embu. In fact, my first job was in Embu. So Embu represents a key factor of my journey. I will be brief because time has really gone, and I'm sure you have had it all. So I'm going to speak to you about dreams in only 3 points. And I will do it in forms of stories. So number 1, be bold. Be bold. Ladies and gentlemen, one day I went to Netherlands. The International Criminal Court had charged Deputy President William Ruto as he was then, and the President Uhuru Kenyatta as he was then. No, he was actually Deputy Prime Minister then. I went to ICC. Some people say I hacked a computer. I didn't. All I did is I interacted with the computer and the documents that were in there. We managed to get some documents during that interaction that eventually ended that case, and it was legal because I was a journalist and I'm allowed to get documents, you know. So that case ended. The danger was there are some people who believed, together with one Ferdinand Waititu, who should be arrested in The Hague. So that night, we fled our way out of the ICC using Syria. Then we diverted down to Namibia and into Kenya. We didn't even have, at the time, the money to pay all those connection flights, but we had a purpose. Because we believed in the dream that was being espoused at the time, we invested our hearts, our soul, and our strength. Therefore, good people, when you decide on something, be bold about it. Of course, some of you know the most recent issue. I was living at Kinyozi in Nairobi. I was actually coming for Christmas. As I left, some 3 guys came and flashed their police IDs and told me we are police and you're under arrest. Now, because mimi nimezoea kushikwa, I had no issue. In fact, it was okay for them to arrest me. It was also going to make my profile a bit better. When you arrested at that time, it was also good. So when I got in the car, these guys told me, the first thing they did, they covered my face. Then in a short while, they took my phones and threw them out. For the next 8 hours was an ordeal that can only go to a book. I cannot even do justice. I'll do a bit of it, but I can't do justice to the whole of it. These guys had hammers, they had nails, they had pangas, and they had some blunt tools like bakoras. For the next 8 hours, non-stop. They beat me up in a way that I don't think I have ever been beaten or will ever allow myself to be beaten again. But I must commend them. Japana, hiyo wanajua. Walinichapa, I started bleeding, and one time I zoomed out. They stripped me naked because they were saying I have some SIM card hidden inside my body somewhere. They searched for it, they cut me a bit on the body, I have some bruises on the body as they looked for that SIM card that apparently is communicating with you guys who had put it on social media. At the end, because of your prayers and the social media activity, at the end of it, they had to throw me out because they kept telling me, you must denounce William Ruto, he cannot be president. And I kept telling them, it does not matter how many times you beat me. I believe in that guy, he will be president. So after you kill me, there will be many other Denis Itumbis and they will make him president. So once you're bold and focused, you will always achieve your dreams. That's number one. The bit of starting where you are has been spoken about, but I'll only add 2 points. Somebody here raised the issue of digital hubs and cheaper internet. I want to announce to you, immediately we are through with these court issues in another 1 or 2 months. I promise you, I'll be back here. Not only for the remote jobs whose testimony has been given, I want us to host, Governor, with your permission at the time, I want us to have such a meeting and have an online jobs meeting. Because good people, I have some friends. I have a guy called Mutembei TV. Mutembei used to work at Citizen TV and as a cameraman and used to earn 70,000 Kenya shillings. At one time, he left and started a YouTube account. Please mark YouTube account, 0 fee, 0 cost to open a YouTube account. When he opened the YouTube account at that time, YouTube was not paying content creators. But from 2 years ago, YouTube started paying people who own YouTube accounts. And all that Mutembei does, he doesn't go to shoot a new thing. He comes here, says Governor spoke to people in Embu, puts that content on his YouTube account. Today, Mutembei is going home with 6.2 million shillings a month. In fact, he was telling me that he now pays 4 people 70,000 shillings for the salary that he used to earn at Citizen. So guys, it is actually possible to earn online. If you have a pen or a phone, just write this website, LTV Plus. LTV Plus. Go Google that, start your journey on online jobs. I have a friend who is a lady, she was working, before COVID, during COVID she lost her job. So she went online and discovered LTV Plus and registered. So today she's employed in the US but in Kenya. So she reports to work at 8 p.m. and leaves work at 5 a.m. like she's in the US. And I was just telling someone I'm sitting, the youth fund director there, that she earns 1.1 million shillings a month. Just for doing what? Netflix, time yako imeisha, unamtumia email, unasema your expiry has come to an end. Facebook, umepoteza nini, that email that he sent is not sent from Facebook. It's outsourced to these guys. But they hire people from here and the Philippines. So we are going to come back here. And mkiito mkuje, because we will create a new way of jobs with you guys. So that then we can start chatting a way of developing Embu in a different way. Because our governor are limited jobs, but we can expand those jobs and make it work. So, finally, okay, before I go finally, let me talk about politics. Young people, one time, we lost a famous son of Embu, and we were at All Saints Cathedral. It was not actually one, I think we lost a few people. I don't remember what it was, I think it was an accident or something. And 2 daughters of Embu, after the fundraising, we had a chat. Both of them are called Sicily with different spelling. And as we went out, at the time I was still working at State House, but I had decided that William Ruto is going to be the next president. So as we went out, they both asked me a question. Why are you so confident to lose a job you have, to go after a person you're not sure will get this thing? And my answer was simple. When I was leaving Embu a day before, the then president, and this story I haven't told anywhere else, Uhuru Kenyatta called me. I was at Moya. Naturally, when a president calls, you give full attention. So if you're driving, you park, and if there's a driver, you ask them to park and leave so that you can have a conversation. So I parked, and Uhuru Kenyatta told me 2 things. You must stop going to Annex, which was the office of the then Deputy President Ruto, and 2, you must stop supporting William Ruto. And I told him, I don't understand what you're saying, sir. I've just come from a barrio, but you can explain further. So he told me, can you wait? Don't disconnect the phone. I want first of all to drink, then we talk. So I waited for 10 minutes. Nothing happened. 15 minutes, I decided let me drive. I kid you not. That phone did not go off, and he spoke to me again when I was at Pangani, coincidentally next to Jubilee offices. And he repeated the same thing. Are we together? Are you supporting me? And if you support me, I'll make your life 100 times better. Or are you going to oppose me and I'm going to crush you? I told him, Mr. President, I have made my decision. I am not going to look back. My eyes are firmly focused on the prize. And like Paul, who wrote in the Bible, I am going to march on without fear. If you are able to crush me and not God, then I will believe you're God. And I disconnected the phone. That was such a good feeling, disconnecting the phone of Ngur. I then drove from there and went to William Ruto, who did not believe me, by the way, at the time. And because at the time he was also not very sure there was a difference and rift. But eventually we agreed, and to cut the rest of the thing, when I write a book, please buy. There's a story there. I'm marketing a book, I'll write, so the rest of it you can read it there. But importantly, what am I trying to say? As many before me have stood here and said, let no one limit your dreams. No one has the capacity, the will, or the ability to stop you from getting to where you're going, as long as you remain focused. Let me tell you, good people, some people wake up from their beds and their destiny is assured. But for some of us, whose only inheritance that was assured of us by our parents was space. Because I remember my dad walked me to his own house and told me, nimejenga mpaka hapa, lakini kutoka hapa mpaka kama wingu, hiyo ni yako. So the only inheritance some of us got was space and the air. We have no choice but to work hard and to ensure that our dreams get to the place where we are looking at. And let me tell you, not only, like Lupita says, that every dream is valid, every dream and effort matters, regardless of the size of your bed. It does not matter whether you sleep in a 3x5 or a 4x6, or you sleep in a golden bed. The size of your bed cannot determine the capacity to achieve your dreams. So good people, join politics. But when you join politics, don't get into the old conversations. Governor says, deputy governor here, have their ambitions and they will achieve them in the next 10 years. After that, and within that, is the space for us. Let me start with Mwai Kibaki. His generation sat down and decided they were going to make Mwai Kibaki the president. Uhuru Kenyatta came and his generation decided they were going to make him a president. William Ruto, in the early 2000s, his friends and generation decided they were going to make a president. We cannot be left behind, and we will not push dreams of others. We have in our generation to produce a president. Because our dreams are not only valid, and not only do they matter, but the size of our beds do not determine the dreams and the capacity to achieve them. So, let me say finally, take out your phone, go to SMS, and dial *832#. Oh, just go to your keypad, sorry. *832#. As you do that, how many people would like to own a house here? Just by a show of hand, your own house. Government intends for you to own a house, and they are going to build 200 houses per constituency. The way to get an advantage is to register on *832. They will charge you that 200 government for registration, but you will be at the front line. By the time they launch on 15th, because you are part of this crowd today, you will be at the very front of that search for a house. And let me tell you something. 70% of young people, when you come to Nairobi or any other place of work, you spend your lifetime paying rent and not owning a home. What if I told you with 200 shillings saved consistently for a long period, you can own your own house? And this is not plot Maguta, it is assured by government. So some of these programs may look like they are being done in Nairobi and by the president, but they are possible and for you and within your reach. Having said that, good people, and because of time, I promise to come back, not only to talk to you, but for us to get actual jobs that pay much money. I hope by the time I'll come with the head of Facebook at the time, and I'll come with the head of Instagram, and I will also come with the head of Google, so that it's not me speaking, it's those platforms speaking to you. So good people, God bless you, keep you, and I exist. You know, this is a land of opportunities. The problem with our dreams is that we don't have a connection to those opportunities. Embu is not only that in their slogan, you have a governor and deputy governor who actually believe in that connection. So all we need to do is create a bridge, which is my role. I will create that bridge for you to connect to the opportunities available in the land of Embu. And I promise you, I may decide to get into politics later, but for the next 5 years, I'm not a politician. I will invest in you. I will invest in you. And I will make sure you make money. Because at the end of the day, even if you are to produce a president in our generation, we will need money. So I need all of you guys to own good cars, to have money in the bank account. Ndio tukifanya rambe a president, mulete pesa in 5 minutes, we run for president. But first you must get the money. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite the deputy governor. Oh, sorry.